I'm Holly, CEO here at Prairie, where we do our circle chats to really bring education and support to our community. And we have a super amazing human. Her name's Sherry, joining us from the Male Breast Cancer Global Alliance. Sherry, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I'm so sorry.
Yay! No worries. Hey, you know,
Minor
technical
technical
stuff,
difficulties.
it takes time. No worries at all. So we're going to go ahead and launch in, guys. Again, I'm Holly, CEO here at Prairie, where we do our Prairie Circle chats to really share all the support and education and amazing humans that we get to meet every single day, and with you all out there. So a few things about our circle chats. These go really fast. So if you have questions, please throw them in chat. We'll make sure that we follow up. And yeah, we look forward to sharing our information today. So again, our topic today is male breast cancer, education, support, and resources with our amazing, beautiful Sherry. Sherry, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Thank you, Holly. I'm Sherry Ambrose. I'm located in New Jersey, and I am the founder and president of the Male Breast Cancer Global Alliance. We are a 501c3 nonprofit foundation, and our goal is to support and advocate men who are diagnosed with breast cancer and educate the world to learn about the disease.
Mm-hmm. And how did you personally get involved in this? It looks like almost 10 years ago, you started this passionate belief in let's bring some education and support and some light to male breast cancer. So for 10 years, what brought you to where you are?
Actually, it was before 10 years. I was a runner. So I used to run all of the Susan G. Komen 5Ks that were here local in New Jersey. And I came to know a couple men that were diagnosed with breast cancer. And it always struck me that they would never get up on stage and be recognized during the survivor ceremonies. So as I came to know them over the years, I would always tease them like, guys, you belong up there. Like, no, it's a women's disease. I'm like, no, it's not. And one day I got a phone call from a dear friend of mine, and she said, we're calling you before we call our son, but Brian has breast cancer. And we know that you know other men, but we need all your help in finding the resources that we can possibly use. And I went to Google, just like everybody else does, and all I could find was crickets.
Mm.
So I decided, you know what? We need something here. We need support. So I gathered these guys in New Jersey. I started an organization back then known as the Blue Wave with a young lady who had lost her husband at the age of 45 and left her with two small children. And we were known as the Blue Wave because we wanted to be the blue wave in the sea of pink.
Mm.
And
Mm.
as we grew, I set up Google alerts so that I get all of the news feeds and anything to do with breast cancer. And what I'm finding is men were coming forward, mostly in October, to tell their stories. And being somebody who has been in the world of law enforcement through my husband for years, I am a natural digger and detective. I want to know more. So I would always chase these men through the editors or through the TV channels that they were on and ask to be put in touch with them to say, you know, we have this amazing resource and we'd like to know your story, because when we started the organization, we wanted to be storytellers. We felt by one man telling his story would get another man to tell his story, or to realize that he wasn't alone.
Mm.
And then we became the Male Breast Cancer Coalition. That's when we became the 501c3. And it was just this past November that we actually changed to be the Global Alliance because of all the global partners that we were reaching out to.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
Yeah. Wow. So
It's been
from
a ride.
it's a long ride and a huge passion, obviously, and a belief that there's an opportunity to share support and education with people in the community, which is amazing. What do you think? You mentioned some of the things that you were introducing, things that are unique to men who are looking for information on support and resource for breast cancer. There's obviously some unique challenges. One of them that I heard is it's just hard to find information or support.
Yes, it has been. But what we have found is that between the pharmaceutical companies, the oncologists, and the researchers over the years, from attending major breast cancer conferences and talks, they're very receptive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always the one in the back of the room when they were saying women this and women that. And I would go, and men. I was always the loudmouth in the back of the room. And that's how I actually got to meet some researchers. And I asked them, silly questions like, you do tests on mice, you do studies on mice. Are these mice female? Or are they male? And they kind of looked at me like I was a little crazy. I said, but when you think about it, you're going to get a different result from a man.
Mm-hmm.
And the more and more I got into it, I I just felt more of a passion for it and trying to find answers.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been fortunate enough to connect with a lot of researchers and clinicians over the years. And we have many of them on our website as our medical and scientific advisory board members, whom we can call upon at any time, who will give give some type of feedback or direction to these
Mm-hmm.
men if they need it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we've gotten the pharmaceutical companies over the years to listen. We had a couple men come forward who were being diagnosed and they were metastatic and being told they had to have Ibrance, and they were being denied coverage for it, and they were being denied the drug.
Mm-hmm.
So because of the labeling at the time did say women, we spoke to our Pfizer reps, and they were very, very helpful in getting the labeling changed to include men. And then finally, it was picked up by the FDA. So until then, they were sending it to these men as a compassionate use just to get them the drug because they knew that there were so many roadblocks.
So I think you mentioned on your website, there's all of these resources to people that not only support the community with scientific knowledge, but also resources that they might need or want in terms of medication questions, or obviously not medical
Right.
professionals, but in touch with just the support group, which is amazing in and of itself. And I love that so much. One of the things that I was thinking as you were speaking is so often that coin is flipped, right? So as a woman, we think, hey, we're not getting this health benefit, but men get this. And it feels like in so many different arenas, men get better care typically. I'm talking completely generalities, you guys. I'm not a researcher or a statistician, but it feels like often I feel like, gosh, it should be a little bit easier for us as women. If we need to go for menopause, why can't we get that referral to the gynecologist, whatever that is? And I know how that feels. It feels unfair. It feels like, gosh, why should I have to work so hard just to get basic care? And which is gender related often, but other side of the coin. And I didn't appreciate that feeling could be to someone who also has breast cancer and has to navigate through that as a man when the resources aren't there.
Yeah, it's so true. We actually had a gentleman who came forward recently, a young man, 37 years old, lives in Indiana, was diagnosed stage 4, and he was losing his health benefits because his job was ending and he was out of benefits, and was trying to go and get Medicaid under the breast cancer and cervical program in Indiana. And he was getting the runaround and basically being told, well, here's the wording to the program, it's women.
Mm-hmm.
So I stepped in, and I know they've made several phone calls themselves to representatives in Indiana. And I actually called the governor's office, had a very nice conversation, and told them, look, this man doesn't have time to deal with all the red tape. He is in need of coverage.
Mm-hmm.
That's a small child. He doesn't have 2 years to wait for Medicare to kick in. He has to use the Medicaid resources.
Mm-hmm.
And within less than an hour, I saw something on Facebook where he was applauding us for stepping in to get him his coverage because he was approved.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just the kind of things that we do for anybody.
Yeah. And I, in going through your website, which is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
I loved, yeah, it's absolutely, it's very easy to navigate for those of you that are interested in checking it out. But also the resources are really clearly lined out. And more importantly, what I got from for myself was that anyone can learn something from your website, regardless of where you're at in the world, woman, man, however you identify. There's information there for everyone. And I really loved that. And it made me think, I always turn that back. So if I'm learning something, how can I share that outside of myself? And from a Prairie Wear point of view, we definitely, obviously, we work more with women, but a lot of people don't know that we work with a lot of men, because how would they know? It's not on our website, but we regularly work with men. And I realized, how could we do a better job to represent other people, other gender on our site? And I hadn't really put a lot of thought into that previously, other than to know that we made a product that would work with anybody, literally. And that was very specific to make sure we were inclusive of everyone, regardless of gender. But we don't actually talk about that in a way that somebody could find us.
There you go.
I mean, we very intentionally wanted to make sure we were there as a resource. But on the other hand, how do people find that resource?
That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, we wear tested with men from the very beginning. And that's been a whole part of who we are and what we do, is everybody. And yet, even us, who I feel we work so hard to make sure the message is out there, we haven't.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we need you to, because we want
Yeah.
you to be on the
Yeah.
site. Our men need you.
Well, Lauren found you. Lauren's behind the circle there, guys, for those of you that are joining. And this was something that we brought to one of our team meetings of, okay, what can we do to shine a light? How can we bring information? How can we do better for our community? And our community includes anyone and everyone looking for, a versatile, sustainable compression bra, whether that's post-surgical or active or medical or everyday. Like, we want to be there, and we want to be there for everybody. So how do we get that message? So I can say that you have been a part of our conversation since Lauren brought this to us. And I think that's a win. That's a win, to just shine a light of information.
Yeah, that's how it all starts. That's how we became some of our resources. Actually, when we spoke to them, they didn't have information on their websites for men, or if they had it, it was buried.
Mhm.
Like a man would go there and would be lost in the pink and would never be able to find anything. But we specify for each one of the resources that we do have that they have something to do with men on their website.
Mhm.
Now, a lot created it after we had our conversations, and we told them that's the only way you will become a resource to us, is if we can link directly to the information that the men need. And those are the links that are on our page. And
Yeah.
we're very willing to do it.
Wow. Awesome. So for those of you, we often have, so we repost these circle chats, and these are things that people go back to after. So I just want to recap quickly for anyone who wants to provide a resource or wants to become involved. Please reach out to the Male Breast Cancer Alliance, and their website, again, super easy to find. We'll throw it into the chat if you could also, Lauren, so that it's there, but we'll have it on the post so that you guys can find that as a resource or become a resource, which is, just as awesome, to make sure that we continue that circle of education and support. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with us today that you feel is a message that you want to leave with everybody? Is there something that I missed in my questions that you'd like to share?
I think one of the important things, or the most important thing, is that we are trying together with our partners to change the face of breast cancer and the way that the world views breast cancer. It is a genderless disease. So we are not only doing this for the men, we're also doing this for members of the non-binary community. We don't want them to have the same hurdles that we had. So we're just trying to make it for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And that is something that I think it cannot be said enough in terms of breast cancer doesn't discriminate.
Exactly.
And so how do we make sure that there's education for anyone and everyone to connect to? The other thing I loved on the site is that support groups, support information. So there's often great support found on Instagram. I didn't see a lot for men.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. It's
not
the Facebook.
not specific to your site, but I mean in general. And so where's that community that you can reach out and talk to someone? And I think that's another piece that I love about you opening up the conversation is that everybody needs somebody
Yeah.
to get through, I think, on this. And so how do you find that? And that's one of those resources that you list and that other people can bring to you, which I think is super awesome.
Yep. We don't have it all, but we aim to. We aim, I guess, to be what Susan G. Komen was for women, for men. We just want to be here and be their resource and be their helping hand.
Awesome. Well, I feel like a running event might be in your future as you being a runner, right? I mean,
Oh,
it must be. Don't you want to run?
not with bad knees.
We'll have somebody push in the trike
There
in the trike bike.
will work.
Yeah,
That'll
awesome, cool. Well, hey guys, if I didn't see a lot of questions rolling through, we started at a funky time before lunch, so I think what I wanted to bring to everybody is where to find you. So they are on Instagram, guys. They're also, if you go to their website, which I know got posted in here and will be on our post on Instagram, please go to the website, check it out, ask any questions, really there to support. And Sherry, I can hear your heart and love for what you do and bringing people together. And I feel like that's why we found you. We're all about finding people that truly believe in what you do, that you love it, and that you want to help people, because that's what we're here to do too. Yeah,
wonderful. It's wonderful to meet other people with like minds.
it really is. And thank you so much for all the hard work that you've put in over the many years to shine a light. It's
It's like
recognized.
yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, right? When you love what you do and you have passion for it, it does fly by. And yet it does take a lot of energy. And so I want to recognize all that energy and effort you've put into making the world a better place. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Holly.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for checking us out today. If there's any questions, please reach out to us. Reach out to the Male Breast Cancer Global Alliance. Amazing humans doing amazing things. And we look forward to hearing more about you next year and what's gone on and all of those great things.
Wonderful. We look forward to having you as a partner on our website soon.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time today.
Bye, guys.
Bye.